Hey Ben, how are you?
Just fine. Thanks for coming in today.
Good. I'm glad to do it.
Well, good. Well, we're here trying to find out more about the candidates that are running for school board.
Right. Well, I'm excited to do this. There's a lot of us, so we need to kind of get everybody's personality across.
So tell us a little bit about your history with Collierville.
Well, I'm a 13-year resident in Collierville. I'm a local veterinarian and business owner. Been a veterinarian for, when I graduated, I moved back to Collierville. My family's from Collierville, but I kind of grew up in Germantown. But live here in Collierville for 13 years.
So you've been in Collierville a long time. Is this your first community involvement kind of thing, or have you done other things?
I have done a few other things. This is my first experience in politics. I've helped on several campaigns. My brother actually is a state senator, so I've helped him on his run for office several times. But in terms of politics, yes, I am a member of the chamber. I was involved with Young Life, a youth ministry out here in Collierville for the Collierville High School for about 7 years. I did a volunteer work and was the chairman of that for quite a few years. And I have a heart and a passion for kids, and I want to see these kids get a great education out here. So my kids, I've got 3 children, 11, 8, and 4, and the 2 oldest are at Bailey Station Elementary, and 5th grade and 3rd grade. And I've got a 4-year-old, so he'll be there soon enough. And so that's my main reason is that I really want to see these kids, my kids, and all the other kids in Collierville Public Schools get a great education. I love the town. The town of Collierville is just something unique out here, and we need to keep it that way and not let the hands of other cities or municipalities mess up our education system that we have.
So have you been knocking on doors and doing stuff like that?
I have. I've been campaigning pretty hard the last 2 months. It's been interesting to kind of get to know people and to hear hear what they're interested in. I think it's been an eye-opening kind of experience to get to meet people, all sorts. Some kids are, some kids in high school, some kids that they don't have kids in the schools, and some folks that are retired and still, a vast majority, 90% of them, as they voted back in August, want to see this school district happen. And I think it's great to see us unified like that.
Well, what's the strangest thing someone said to you? That just seems
well,
strange?
I've woken up several families before sleeping on a Saturday afternoon with creases in their face, and that was kind of interesting. I've caught people coming out of showers and they just still come to the door. It's kind of funny. There's some awkward moments sometimes, but it's been a lot of fun. Now, I did help. One of the biggest things I think I did, it was back in August, me and another gentleman here in Collierville formed the Citizens of Collierville group. That was a group that helped lead the YES campaign to get our school district. So back in August, there was a lot of YES signs around town, and that was a group that I helped lead. And we had a great turnout. 87% of folks said yes. There was over 12,000 voters, and so I was real proud to lead that campaign. And that kind of springboarded into the school board effort that I have here.
I've met a number of the candidates, and I tell you, everybody's well qualified.
Right.
And it's hard for people to tell the difference between people. What would be, people? They're all leaders, and people lead in different ways.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about how you would lead, or what your style of leadership is.
Well, I think a leader's got to listen to folks, listen to the public and kind of what they're wanting. But I do think you're going to have to step up and, like I did on the YES campaign, and somebody's got to kind of take charge. Our main role will be to hire a superintendent. And I think we're going to have to be, hire that right person for the job that really values a good education. So that's going to be a big thing. I think, another aspect of it is, humility. Any leader should practice humility, and as well, I think, again, we talked about the listening, but one of the other things is we're going to have to be as strong, and that's what I've been, is really one of the strongest citizens advocates for these schools, that I'm going to be a leading voice and advocate for this school no matter what. If no matter what the judge says. If he rules in our favor, that's going to be wonderful. If he doesn't, though, we're going to have to take it to the next step, and I'm willing to do that, whatever that might be, whether it's another lawsuit or an appeal. I'm willing to fight for the Collierville School District as long as it takes.
So you've got some passion around making this happen.
Absolutely, right. Absolutely. I came out to the first meeting in January when the TPC came to Collierville at Collierville Methodist, and I stood up in the meeting and said, thanks but no thanks. We don't need to go any. The transition or the unified school district does not need to cross our borders. It does not need to come into Collierville schools. We've got great schools, and we don't need them to mess up what we've got. We've got a great thing going. So again, I've been a leading advocate for it, and I want to keep it local, and I think we can. And again, I go back, the superintendent. I think we're going to have a challenge on our hand for the school buildings. I think that's going to be an issue that again we're going to have to try to negotiate with the unified board, and if it takes more than that, then so be it.
When you decided to run for school board, and you told your wife or close friends, I mean, what did they say? Well, and what would they say motivates you?
Right. Well, it took a little convincing of my wife. It was about the campaigning. She was, the next 2 or 3 months that she foresaw, rightly so, that was going to be pretty busy, and so, but she came around and she's excited for me. But she sees, and I'm passionate about this, that again, leading a great school district, it's been again a passion for me this whole past year, and and then friend-wise, I have great support. My committee is 100% behind me. Everybody I talked to, even leading up to the yes vote back in August, they were encouraging me to run for school board, and I hadn't decided until middle of August. So, but yeah, I've been very supportive from spouse and family and friends. So,
So starting up a school system's a pretty big deal. How many hours a week do you think it's going to take for a school board?
Well, I think initially it's going to take more than the second or third or fourth year. I could foresee anywhere from 20 to possibly 30 hours a week. Hopefully some of that will be more in the night meetings and things like that for people's schedules. But it's going to take a lot of work, and again, but I'm willing to do it. I'm excited about doing it. Again, the education of our kids, me and my kids and the kids in Collierville schools means too much to just let this go to anyone. And again, I feel like I am a strong advocate for it, and we'll fight to get good schools.
So you've got some exposure to the school system the way it is now. Is there anything in particular that you already sort of know that you think would be beneficial to change, whether it's lunchroom food or whatever it might be?
I think on a simple level, I do think, and I hear back from a lot of people about the times, especially the high school. The high school starts at 7 o'clock. We live by the high school, so I see kids flying by our neighborhood at 6:45 racing to get to school. So I do think at times, hopefully we can change that with some busing route changes and working with the busing. Durham is the school bus system. So maybe we could shift that back a little bit later, even if it was 7:30 or 7:45. So that's one thing. But also, I do think our average ACT score. We have great schools here in Collierville. Shelby County, I feel like, has given us a great system, but I do think we can improve upon it. I think we could maybe even add some. Our ACT score, I was saying, is 24.1, which is wonderful, but it's not the highest in the state. The highest in the state's in Nashville. I think it's in Brentwood, which is a 25.2. So we have room to grow in terms of an ACT improvement, and also I do think there's some additional. I think we can add some sort of technology, a little bit more technology to the classroom. With online classes, it doesn't have to be that there has to be a teacher in every classroom setting. We could have some online courses that are being offered that might not be offered currently. So those are some things I do want to encourage, or that's one of my things is academic performance, that we want to continue the road we're on and build upon that. So I think that's going to be important. And also the other thing would be even a performing arts type opportunity. Now, we've got a great arts program and things at the high school, but again, improving upon that will be an issue that I'd like to see happen.
There's going to be a lot of times when the 5 school board members are going to need to work things out. They're going to have a difference of opinions, and they're going to need to come to a consensus or a vote. How do you deal with conflict, and what strength do you bring to the school board? You know, there's different strengths. Some people bring people together. Some people are visionary. Some people are real detail-oriented.
Right.
How would you describe yourself?
I guess I'd say I'm fairly organized. I am fairly, I would say visionary would be definitely a key component of mine. Again, foreseeing what the next 3, 4, 5 years, you know, are going to look like. That's really what we're shooting for. You know, these first few years, again, we're going to have a good basis to start from. And the other great thing about my candidacy, I think, is I know all 14 of the people running. None of them are unfamiliar to me. So any of the ones really that get on board, majority of them, or vast majority of them, I know, and I know fairly well. So, and we have a good relationship, so I can get along with them. Again, I do think, you know, everybody is going to have to be, going to have to vote the way that they feel what's best for the kids. And that's the thing, I mean, at the end of the day, every decision needs to be made based on what's best for the kids and education, and their education. It doesn't need to be about, you know, bureaucracy or administrative. I mean, we do need to focus our dollars to the classroom and not in administrative cost. And I think we can all agree to do these things, and I think we'll be able to, to achieve these goals.
It's a big decision hiring a school superintendent. And I'm assuming that there's going to end up being 3 or 4 of them that are all qualified, they all got some experience. Is there anything that would stand out for one of them that would be attractive to you, that you think is beneficial for the town? I mean, if you had to pick between 3 or 4
Right.
qualified people.
I think the way we have to view the CEO or the superintendent, I think, is is like a CEO, that we are the board of directors in a sense, and we're hiring a CEO. We're hiring a chief executive officer or a superintendent for the schools. They're going to be in charge of a $60 million budget, and they are going to be in charge of, you know, hundreds of faculty and staff and administration. So my opinion is, you know, we don't need to just hastily hire somebody. I do think we need to take our time. The kids' education depend on having a good superintendent. And go back to a CEO analogy, I think that you have to look at their track record, you know, where they come from. Have they improved the school district that they come from? Are they, again, how well do they get along with their support staff there at their school district that they're in currently? So again, I think a track record, just for anybody, is going to make a big difference to, you know, or is going to be a key component to look at for a superintendent. But I am in favor, you know, again, of not hastily hiring someone, because it's going to be such a big part. I mean, our one employee is a superintendent, so that one person we need to focus on and really, you know, making a fairly exhaustive effort to find a good one.
Mm-hmm. Here's a situation. Tell me what you do in this situation. You're out in the town shopping or something like that, and a person comes up and just says, you know, little Johnny's really unhappy with his 6th grade teacher. I mean, she just doesn't appear like she's got her act together. And I voted for you, and now I want you to do something.
Right.
What do you do?
Well, I'd say this, you know, and I get, as a veterinarian here in town, I see people and clients run into Kroger, and they'll ask me about their dog and what I can do. You know, I do think I'll bring it up to the superintendent. That is definitely one thing I would do. So I'd take the issue or the situation and teacher, and I bring it up with the superintendent. Now, past that, unfortunately, the school board only has one employee. Again, it's the superintendent. You know, we don't get to choose faculty or even principals. The superintendent hires the principals hire the teachers. But we will have, another key thing of mine is we want to have a strong teacher evaluation program. The state of Tennessee already implements a pretty good one. And it's pretty rare out here to have that. I mean, the vast majority of teachers in Collierville are excellent. Obviously, with any system so large, you're going to have a few that are underperformers, but hopefully we can weed those out. And the other big thing is hiring the right folks right off the bat. We're going to want to have a great teacher base, and I think we will again hire the vast majority of the teachers that are already here and attract some new ones. But that's what I do. I would bring it up with the superintendent and try to address it that way.
Well, that's good. Well, look, we really appreciate you coming by today.
Thanks, Ben. I appreciate it.
Thank you for being willing to be a public servant, and I hope everything goes well for you.
All right. Well, thank you.